The year was 1792. The United States of America elected George Washington to be their president once again. The United States also established the post office. Raleigh became the capital of North Carolina. Also in North Carolina, in a small town that would one day be known as Ellenboro, Jeremiah Blanton built a church. Prior to the building of the church, Blanton's home was a stopping place for circuit riders, clergy who traveled to rural communities. According to local news publications from 1950 and 1967, Blanton was thought to be building a home by those who lived in the community. It wasn't until he completed the structure that he told everyone it was a church. The log building was used until a new church building was constructed in 1885. The clapboard frame structure had separate entrance doors for men and women and 2 pot-belly stoves, which provided heat during the winter months. The third and current church building was constructed in 1949. The present church building has classrooms, pastor's study, a chapel, and sanctuary.
Hello everyone. My name is David Hawkins and I am presently the pastor at Oak Grove United Methodist Church. As you know by now, we are celebrating 225 years of existence here at Oak Grove. We are proud of the many accomplishments that we have been able to do here at Oak Grove. One that I'm particularly proud of is the fact that we have a very thriving children and youth ministry. We have wonderful leaders, and we run 2 buses on Wednesday night to pick up children and bring them here. We feed them a good meal of not only nutritious food, but also feed them spiritually. Again, I'm very proud of our teachers and our leaders in both of these groups, and I thank them through this video for everything that they do. Also, we've been able to update many of the things within the facility of the church. We have TV screens in the sanctuary so that people don't have to depend on books, and just so many things. As you are here today and as you go through the church, hopefully you will see many of the changes that we have made to the facility. It is my hope that you will be blessed from what you hear and see here today. May God bless you, and thank you for watching.
In 1957, church members took on the project of building a parsonage. Reverend M.G. Irwin was the first minister to call the parsonage home.
My dad was Fred Hill. We moved into the Oak Grove parsonage in June of 1970, and my family lived there until June of 1975. My brother and sisters and I have lots of wonderful memories in the Oak Grove parsonage. I met and married my husband while they were there. In fact, I went on my first car date while they were there.
I'm very thankful that as a baby, my parents brought me here at Oak Grove, and at the age of 12, I joined the church along with Phil Rome and Jerry Jenkins. And at that time, I can't remember which pastor it was for sure, but he had us learn the catechism, and whenever we joined, we had to get in front of the church, and he asked us questions, alternated with questions to each one of us. So that was a big deal for us. And then after that, you know, of course, all along we had wonderful Sunday school teachers such as Dot Harrell, and then when we got the youth group at that time, it was called instead of the United UMY, it was the MYF, the Methodist Youth Fellowship, and we had great counselors and some great programs and great field trips, and we're always anxious to get to go to Camp McCall and Odell and Colleen Bickerstaff were our counselors for a number of years. And all along here, while I was here at church, my dad was always involved and served on the administrative council, it was called the administrative board at that time. And my mother and Catherine Flynn together, they worked in the nursery some 40 years, so that was something I was very proud of. And I guess some of the saddest events would have been my parents, their death and their services here at Oak Grove, and getting married. That was one of the best things. That was in 1996, April 6, 1996. And whenever mine and Carolyn's youngest daughter started coming here to church with her daughter, Abigail. I've been very blessed to be a part of this church all these years. I'm thankful for all the friends that I've had here. Seen a lot come through, a lot have left here, but we still got a lot of friends that are still here, making a big difference in the lives of the people here at church and in our community.
Hello, I'm Debbie Toney, and for 24 plus years I was choir director and organist and sometimes pianist here at Oak Grove, and music has been an integral part of Oak Grove since its inception in 1792. I was always interested in what type of music they may have been singing and playing and what type of instruments they used in 1792. But I do know that over the years, of course, pianos became very instrumental, no pun intended, but also organs. And there were so many important people that were a part of this church over the past 100 years. And of course, before that, I'm not sure of the history. But Irma Withrow was here for many years as choir director, and I know that C.A. Kennedy also was very important in the choir. And even though there have been a lot of turnover in the membership of the choir, this church has always maintained a choir, and a choir that loves the Lord and loves to sing His music. And even though the type of music has changed over the years, the choir has always tried to keep up, and also doing contemporary music as well as the traditional music. And one thing that has always been important is that the music of Oak Grove is intended to lift God up, to bring glory to His name, and in doing so, to lift these people up to His throne so that the spoken word will be ready to be received.
Hello, I'm Norman Hubbard, and I was the pastor at Oak Grove United Methodist Church from 2000 to 2008. It was a great privilege to be your pastor for those 8 years and to share in your various ministries in the church, the various events in your lives as we went through those 8 years together. It was really a joy to see what happened in December every year as you prepared for your special mission trip to Close Flint, Kentucky, providing food and clothes and toys and other things for families in pretty desperate situations a lot of times. And that partnership with the Close Flint Church of God, the ties that you built with those fellow Christians in a different part of the region was very encouraging to see. I also enjoyed the great privilege of getting to know Roger Miller, who has died since I left Oak Grove. But Roger had been a POW, prisoner of war, during World War II. And he allowed me the privilege of going with him several times to the VA hospital in Nashville to meet with a support group of other ex-POWs and to hear their stories and to get to know these men and their service, their sacrifice for all of us was very inspiring. Also, Oak Grove will always hold a special place in my heart because that's where my son David and his wife Erin were married, and you provided such wonderful support for them in that time as well. May God continue to bless you and you carry on the work of Christ. Happy 225th anniversary. Keep on keeping on, as you always have, in the Spirit of Christ. Thanks.
Well, Oak Grove Church is just a part of my life. I've been here my entire life. I'm almost fourth generation, and when I say that, I think my grandfather's first or second in-laws were members here, the Blantons, and then my grandfather, my mother, me, my children, and now my grandchildren. So Oak Grove has certainly been a part of our life, and a part of my life, both spiritually and emotionally in all ways. And my earliest memories involve church. It involves being out here sitting on the well, having my picture made at somebody's birthday party. It involves being in the nursery. My earliest memories of church were in the church nursery, which was actually located in the basement of this building, if you can imagine such a thing. And Ms. Winnie McDaniel and Ms. Catherine Flynn were our nursery workers. I have a memento of my time in the nursery. This is a tractor, and I'm not sure if this one or the blue one is the one that I bit the head off of, but Kathy Flynn Waters and I were accused of biting the heads off of these tractors, and Kathy had the blue one and I had the green one as mementos of our time in the nursery. One of my earliest Sunday school memories involved Martha Ann Kennedy, later Martha Ann Bridges. She was my Sunday school teacher in the first little primary class. And I remember a Sunday school lesson we had, and it is still so vivid. I don't know what the scripture was. I don't know what message I was supposed to have gotten out of it. But the message that I got was that God had created a beautiful world. The Sunday school lesson was a story about some kittens that had been born in a box, and their mother kept them in this box. And one day the kittens were big enough that they got out of the box and they walked around and they said, my, what a big world. And so I think Martha Ann sort of introduced me to the creation of God's world. And I'm just so thankful for the past leadership we've had in this church with pastors and with leaders of this congregation that have brought us from the very humble beginnings of this church to where we are 225 years later.
Our experience here at Oak Grove has been welcoming from the get-go. As soon as we walked in the front door, we felt like we were home. Every person in the congregation greeted us with loving, open arms, and we have felt that love and welcoming ever since. We've only been coming here 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years. So that says a lot for the congregation that's here. The annual bazaar and barbecue is always a fun-filled day. It's a long day, but you get to see a lot of happy people coming and discovering all sorts of treasures, and then enjoying some really good food. And so that's been fun too.
We love it here, and we sold our house, and one of the reasons we didn't move far away was because of our church. We moved 5 miles away because we wanted to be still close to this church and the people in it.
In 1992, Oak Grove celebrated its 200th anniversary. A covered dish luncheon was held on the grounds, and church members even dressed in clothing similar to what church members would have worn in the late 1700s. One of Oak Grove's ministers, Joel Duggins, became a missionary after his time at the church. He served in Kazakhstan, part of the former Soviet Union, spreading God's love. Another very active group within the church is the United Methodist Women. Established in the 1940s, the church currently has 2 very active circles that participate in missions both locally and globally. They have a strong partnership with the church's United Methodist Men group.
I'm thankful for this occasion to be able to say a few things about Oak Grove Church and the community that meant so much to us while we were living there. We never can forget all the love that was shared from us, from the reception we had when we first came here to the many ways that you touched our lives and all the times there. All you have to do is drive up and down Oak Grove Road and you'll see so many wonderful people that we, when I begin to think of wonderful people, I think of Camps and Jollies and Billingsleys and Earls and Thomases, and I could go on and on with many folks. But all of those families have been so special to us. They've taught us a lot about ministry, a lot about love, a lot about how to take care of one another, and I'm grateful for that. One of the special people that I won't ever want to always remember is Paul Marion. Paul was our custodian here, but much more than that, he was like a grandfather to our children. He not only loved them and cared for them, but I remember him saying to me as he'd do things for them, please don't take my blessing away from me, not allowing me to do things for them. There are many things that we did as our attendance grew some, as we built a fellowship hall, as we did many wonderful trips with the senior citizen group. We had a scout program there that we began there with Bud Crotts helping with that, and Matthew Crotts was a part of that, and our son Jonathan. You'll always hold a special place in our lives. And I pray that today this is a special occasion for you. We will be retiring this year after 37 years of ministry. Once again, thank you.
Thank you for joining us for our anniversary celebration. For 225 years, Oak Grove United Methodist Church has reflected the love of Jesus Christ, and we hope to continue to share his love with others for many years to come.